Chapter 51. Consolidating his realm. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 51. Consolidating his realm. My spearmanship has finally broken through to LV3. Su Jingming was a little excited. After all, many of the world's top experts were stuck at the cusp of LV2 and couldn't break through, a testament to how much of a roadblock this bottleneck was. I thought I would be stuck at this bottleneck for a month or longer. Thankfully, it happened sooner than I expected. Su Jingming grinned, but he soon revealed a puzzled expression. But why does it feel different from Master's description? Su Jingming extended his hand, and a spear appeared in it. Send 10 bandits with a basic combat strength of 2000. Su Jingming easily set it up, and 10 bandits quickly appeared. There were men and women, some were stocky, and others were thin, tiny, and wretched, but none of them were easy to deal with. Die. The 10 bandits naturally dispersed and surrounded him. A dart flew through the air straight for Su Jingming. Boom. Su Jingming's eyes turned faintly red as his figure blurred and quickly rushed out. In his eyes, the bandits' movements and even the concealed weapons that shot over were in slow motion. It's impossible for them to slow down. It's my reaction that has sped up. Su Jingming swung his spear and easily blocked the few darts. Who? 5 bandits came close. They cooperated in an orderly fashion and summoned their sabers, spears, and hammers. Su Jingming took a step back and avoided most of the attacks. At the same time, the spear in his hand moved. Pooh! 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 Instantly, the throats of the 3 closest bandits were penetrated. My ordinary attacks are now faster than shadowless thrust. Su Jingming was delighted. My body is like fire, my entire body is burning, and my blood is boiling. With a thought, my entire body is responding to every thought. My speed and strength have reached a whole new level. Most importantly, my reaction is faster. Su Jingming was more concerned about this. A fast reaction meant that he had the preemptive advantage in every move. My strikes land on the enemy before their attack reaches me. He could dodge a sharpshooter's attacks much better. He could easily control the situation when surrounded. After all, the enemies around him were in slow motion, so finding flaws was much easier. Bam! Bam! Su Jingming's spear swept out like he was uprooting grass, sending 4 bandits flying in succession. Boom! A single strike slammed a bandit holding a huge shield into the ground, causing him to vomit blood and vanish. Awesome! My body hasn't improved at all. My physique index is still 135, but the strength and speed at which I unleash my strength are much greater. I finally understand why Master can wreck me so easily despite having the same physique as me. Su Jingming unleashed his spearmanship wantonly, killing 1 bandit after another until they turned ethereal. Shadowless thrust. The current shadowless thrust truly lived up to its name. The bandit with a basic combat strength of 2000 didn't even see Su Jingming strike or retract his spear before his chest was penetrated. Amazing speed. Su Jingming was impressed. Even he could only vaguely sense the spear retracting. This is what shadowless thrust should be. If the enemy sees it, it doesn't deserve to be called shadowless thrust. The 10 bandits disappeared, and Su Jingming was the only one left in the martial arts arena. Ha 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 ha, Su Jingming laughed happily. Master, you've misdirected me. You said that my body should be like water, but I don't feel like water at all. My body is like fire, and my entire body feels as if it's on fire. I can explode with a single thought. Su Jingming liked this feeling. In the past, his body would be like an old car. He remained slow despite pressing on the accelerator, but he was now a super sports car. He went vroom with a light tap. Flexibility, terrifying strength, explosive force. Even in this state, his brain's thought processes and reaction speed were much faster. There's a qualitative change from the cusp of LV2 to LV3. I haven't changed in any other aspect. Just my spearmanship increased from LV 299% to LV 31%, and my combat strength has increased by about 1,000. Su Jingming sighed with emotion. No wonder all the other experts in China are powerless against Master Lu Hai, Lei Yunfang, and Zhou Yi. Moreover, I haven't made a breakthrough in my evolutionary method. I can still improve once I raise my evolutionary method to advanced. There's no rush. I'll consolidate my spearmanship and head to Cosmos Tower. Su Jingming was in high spirits as he headed straight for the mission space. Under Cosmos Tower. Su Jingming looked up at the huge list beside Cosmos Tower and the 6 names. It won't be long before I'm on this list. With this in mind, he rushed into Cosmos Tower. But 10 minutes later, Su Jingming was kicked out. The Tiger King is too fearsome. I died from a single swipe of its claw, Su Jingming murmured. It looks like I need to reach advanced. In fact, Su Jingming had long guessed that it wouldn't be easy to clear Cosmos Tower's 3rd floor. This was because he had seen his master's video. The Tiger King's strength, speed, and reaction were all above Lu Hai. His master had also relied on his combat techniques and his full strength before he cleared the level. As for Lei Yunfang, he had clearly reached advanced a long time ago, and his movement technique was already at the terrifying LV3. However, it took him a long time to clear it, and he came 5th in the world. As for Zhou Yi, he had yet to clear it. My spearmanship has increased to LV 32% after a short battle. I'll continue practicing and consolidate my spearmanship before practicing the evolutionary method. Su Jingming was extremely fervent. After breaking through the bottleneck, he finally started improving. During lunch, Su Jingming ate loudly and quickly. Is there such a rush? Li Miao Miao took a small bite. Why are you in such a hurry eating your meals? I'm done eating, so I'm going into seclusion. Miao Miao, don't disturb me unless something major happens today. Su Jingming put down his bowl and chopsticks, wiped his mouth, and immediately ran to the bedroom. His body had undergone a complete transformation in reality after a month of being in the virtual world, and he ran much faster. He was like a gust of wind that disappeared into his bedroom in a flash. Li Miao Miao ate alone and mumbled, "Don't disturb him unless something major happens. He's in seclusion. It looks like he really broke through. I knew it." In the battle with Qing Ziheo's team, Jingming was so fierce at the end. His entire body seemed to be on fire, so he probably had a breakthrough. Some people even say that Jingming was agitated and was in an excessive eruption state. And that's only a legend. How can it be so easy to erupt? Li Miao Miao thought. In reality, there were indeed people who suddenly unleashed strength that far exceeded their normal strength. However, this was very rare. Although Su Jingming was very angry in the previous battle, it was still within his limits. After all, that was only a battle in the virtual world. It didn't break through his limits of reason, much less his physical limits. It could only be said that Su Jingming had accumulated enough knowledge. His anger from before was a catalyst. His rage consumed his entire body like fire, allowing him to break through his bottleneck. He wasn't too accustomed to his new state as it was his first breakthrough. The eruption was so excessive that his capillaries ruptured from the gushing blood. Once he got used to it and knew how to mobilize his body's potential through some consolidation, he could easily unleash his might without repercussions. That night, Li Miao Miao invited Wang Yi to her personal space. Dai Xiaoqin accompanied her. Cat. Although Wang Yi was an aloof woman, she ran over happily and hugged Li Miao Miao when she saw the latter. My idol actually invited me. I'm so excited. Calm down, calm down. Li Miao Miao didn't know whether to laugh or cry from being hugged. She immediately said, "You are China's strongest female sharpshooter. You have to act like one." Wang Yi released her and sat to the side to watch the blue seawater. She picked up a piece of watermelon and started eating. A person has to be honest. If you like it, you like it. If you don't like it, you don't like it. What's the point of pretending? Cat, I really like your singing. When are you going to sing live? You have to inform me in advance. Sure. I have to make preparations for singing live. I plan on streaming my singing again after the Firestarter Cup, Li Miao Miao said. Every singing livestream my sister.in.law holds is like a concert, Dai Xiaoqing said. She makes ample preparations. You have to immerse yourself in singing and enjoy yourself, Li Miao Miao said. Oh right, sharpshooter, I wanted to ask you something. Cat, feel free to ask. I'll tell you everything I know, Wang Yi said. Li Miao Miao said, I heard that many teams invited you to join, but you haven't confirmed a team. Yeah. Wang Yi nodded. Actually, many teams value my popularity. Those teams have large corporations behind them, hoping that my popularity will help advertise their company. For example, every time I do a live stream, millions of people will basically watch it. It's equivalent to advertising for them every day. Li Miao Miao nodded. But that's not what I care about. Popularity. Advertisements. I don't care, Wang Yi said. I want to pursue a higher level of archery. I want to know what the endgame of archery is, I want to explore and master it myself. That's what mesmerizes me the most. What has that got to do with you choosing a team? Li Miao Miao asked. That's why I want strong teammates, Wang Yi said. The stronger, the better. Strong teammates will allow the team to go further. This is only a domestic competition, and there will be global competitions in the future. If the team can go far enough, we'll be able to fight more experts. Otherwise, they won't be qualified to fight top experts after being eliminated in the first round. A true clash between the best is the best way to test and raise one's strength. Wang Yi's eyes burned. I understand. Li Miao Miao nodded. Chapter 52. Wang Yi's invitees. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 52. Wang Yi's invitees. Wang Yi smiled and said, of the strongest experts in China, Coach Lu Hai chose 4 civilian contestants as his teammates. Therefore, I recommended myself and wanted to join Senior Lei Yunfang's team. But Senior Lei Yunfang rejected me. He also decided to choose 4 civilian contestants. Wang Yi sighed. The 2 seniors I like don't like me, while I don't like the other teams either. Li Miao Miao smiled and said, I finally understand. The teammates you want are the first-tier experts in China. Countless people want to team up with Lu Hai and Lei Yunfang, Dai Xiaoqing said with a smile. But the 2 seniors have decided to choose 5 civilian contestants. As for Zhou Yi, just having a sharpshooter in his team is enough. Seriously, why must the 2 seniors insist on selecting civilian contestants? Wang Yi shook her head. In the Firestarter Cup, the 2 of them might be able to carry the team by themselves, but when they fight teams from all over the world in the future, will they also carry civilian contestants? Instead of changing teammates in the future, it's better to choose the most suitable teammates from the beginning. Don't worry about the 2 seniors. Perhaps they will team up in the future, Dai Xiaoqing teased. It's the 28th tomorrow, and registration will begin at 12 midnight on the 28th. Your team hasn't been decided yet, are you not participating in the Firestarter Cup? Of course I have to. Wang Yi's eyes lit up. There are many hidden talents in China. Nobody knows which experts remain hiding. Anyone who pursues the limits of combat can't miss the clash between experts. I won't miss it either. Then, what about your team? Dai Xiaoqing asked. If you really can't find any strong teammates, take on the central role yourself, Wang Yi said. I'll choose a team that's centered around me. Dai Xiaoqing sighed. Many teams are inviting you. You have the right to choose, unlike me. I was so excited when Master Zhang Qing was willing to choose me that I jumped up. I agreed to join the team with both hands raised. Wang Yi smiled. She was ambitious. She had been an Olympic archery champion since she was a teenager, so she naturally pursued being the strongest. She was also very cautious when choosing teams. She also wanted to stick to the same teammates and wasn't willing to change them easily. Wang Yi, Li Miaomiao said, perhaps I can find you a team that will satisfy you. A team that satisfies me. Wang Yi looked at Li Miaomiao in surprise. You know how high my requirements are. Don't be in a hurry to make a decision. When the time comes, I'll get that captain to come find you. You can talk when you meet, Li Miaomiao said confidently. Alright, but I have to make a decision at 8 a.m. on the 28th, Wang Yi said. It'll definitely have to happen before then. I'll introduce the team leader to you, Li Miaomiao said with a smile. He should be better than all the teams that have invited you. Wang Yi was a little puzzled and thought of many things. I'll be waiting then. Wang Yi was also curious. Who was it? Kat's boyfriend. He didn't seem that outstanding, right? Evening of the 27th. In Wang Yi's live stream, Wang Yi was live streaming a battle. The number of viewers had climbed to more than 8 million. The registration starts tomorrow night, so Sister E should be deciding on a team, right? It hasn't been made public yet. Sister E said that she's definitely participating in the Firestarter Cup. Countless people in the comments section were in discussion. Wang Yi's fans were extremely concerned about which team the strongest female sharpshooter they liked would join. In the forest map, Wang Yi was like a ghost in the forest. She flew between the trees and quickly chased after the enemy as they retreated. It's over. This strongest female sharpshooter is too terrifying. Her movement is even faster than an assassin like me. I can't escape. If he ran with his back to Wang Yi, he would die from a single strike. He had to keep an eye on Wang Yi. However, he would slow down if he kept staring at Wang Yi. Whoosh! Wang Yi flashed and shot out 3 arrows the moment she appeared behind a tree. The 3 arrows tore through the air at terrifying speeds. The enemy wanted to dodge, but he discovered that the 3 arrows had locked onto a certain range. Just a slight hesitation resulted in 2 arrows penetrating his leather armor, causing his body to turn ethereal and vanish. The last enemy was successfully killed. When fighting those in heavy armor, I can only aim at their heads. Against those in light armor, I can also kill them with armor-piercing arrows. As for such assassins, it's said that assassins are a threat to sharpshooters, but as long as the sharpshooter's movement is fast enough while maintaining a certain distance, it's easier for sharpshooters to kill assassins, Wang Yi said to the audience as she exited the map. Suddenly, a large number of tips were given. Thank you for the tip, Chairman Qian, Wang Yi said. There's no need for you to tip me. Even if you tip me, I might not choose to join your team. Whoosh, another large tip flew past. Director Tian, Wang Yi was helpless. The large corporations were very enthusiastic tonight and kept tipping her. All 5 teams are inviting Sister E. The bosses behind them are personally giving out tips. The tips from the 5 bosses tonight add up to a few million. How extravagant. Boss, look at me. If you tip me 10,000, I'll join your team. I'm willing to join any of the 5 teams even if I have to pay 10,000. In your dreams. Do you think stupid huskies like you can sneak into a wolf pack? Even with all the tips from the bosses, Sister E can only join one team at most. Won't the tips from the other 4 bosses go to waste? What do you know? There are nearly 10 million people in our live stream, and everyone is talking about the 5 companies. This is considered an advertisement. Spending hundreds of thousands to do an advertisement isn't a loss for the bosses. Countless comments appeared as everyone discussed the 5 battle teams. Wang Yi looked at the tips and said publicly, regardless, I will definitely choose a team on the 28th. I will officially announce it at 8 p.m. on the 28th. Sister E, we've invited you for more than half a month. Don't abandon us. This was Director Tion's large tip message. Once the team is confirmed, I'll inform everyone. I won't let you wait in vain, Wang Yi promised. In the martial arts arena in his personal space, Su Jingming was seriously practicing heavenly python evolution. Spearmanship, shield techniques, footwork, and so on were considered combat techniques. The core of combat techniques was one's control of the body. The higher one's control of the body, the faster one could unleash their speed, strength, and reaction with the same physique. As for his physique, it was improved through the evolutionary method. This was a fundamental improvement. Boom! Boom! Su Jingming was immersed in training his evolutionary method. He felt his entire body burn as if he had turned into a fire worm. The flames burned and peeled off his outer shell to undergo a complete transformation. Whoosh! Su Jingming suddenly felt cool and extremely comfortable. He opened his eyes and tapped his personal combat strength interface. He couldn't help but smile when he saw his interface. I've finally mastered the evolutionary method after training in seclusion for so long. Master said that one's combat techniques have to reach LV3 before the evolutionary method can be upgraded to advanced. Only by experiencing it for myself can I understand it. By mobilizing my body at a deeper level and cultivating the evolutionary method, I can achieve greater effects. Su Jingming came to a realization: the higher one's control over their body, the stronger the evolutionary method. Looking at his personal combat strength interface, Su Jingming tapped lightly. My body has been raised to its limits. Genetic evolutionary method. Heavenly Python evolution, advanced 3%. 602 days of practice. No room for improvement, physique. 190 technique. Spearmanship, LV, 312%, footwork, LV, 297%, shield technique, LV, 299%. Basic combat strength. 3800 combat bonus. 32% combat strength. 5016 My body has become stronger after I upgraded my evolutionary method to advanced, Su Jingming thought. My combat strength was only about 2,500 2 days ago, but it's now at 5,000. I'm much stronger than 2 days ago. Su Jingming happily exited the virtual world. At home, it was pitch black outside. It was late at night. Meow meow, why didn't you enter the virtual world at night? Su Jingming walked into the living room and saw his girlfriend eating supper. She looked up at Su Jingming and said, I guessed that someone would be starving, so I got 5 to prepare a sumptuous supper. 5, quickly heat up the supper and serve it. Yes. 5, the butler robot, proceeded to heat up the dishes. Su Jingming touched his stomach and smiled. I only had breakfast in the morning. It's already midnight, so I'm indeed starving. You've been going crazy the past 2 days, Li Miao Miao said helplessly. You don't even eat regularly. Oh right, did you break through after going into seclusion? Smart girl. Su Jingming walked to the dining table and started eating his supper. You really broke through. Li Miao Miao rushed to the dining table with a whoosh, filled with excitement and anticipation. Although she had some guesses, they were ultimately just guesses. Yeah. Su Jingming nodded. What's your combat strength now? Li Miao Miao asked curiously. 5,000, Su Jingming said as he dug into his rice. Whoa. Li Miao Miao's mouth formed an O shape. Chapter 53. Assembling the team. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 53. Assembling the team. Su Jingming ate his supper happily and ate the rice, beef, and pork ribs in large mouthfuls. Li Miao Miao murmured to the side, I only have 400. Plus combat strength while you have 5,000. I don't even have 1/10 of yours. What a blow. You're a genius singer. Su Jingming looked at his girlfriend and smiled. I've practiced martial arts since I was a child. There's a good saying. People are good in different fields. Cut the act. Finish up quickly, I'll bring you to meet a beauty after dinner, Li Miao said. Who is it? Su Jingming asked as he ate. Wang Yi, China's #1 sharpshooter. Li Miao said. I've already contacted her for you. As long as you show her your combat strength interface and invite her to join the team, there's a high chance of it happening. You managed to contact her. Su Jingming looked at his girlfriend in admiration. She was really a woman of action. Li Miao urged, eat quickly. All right. Su Jingming quickly ate. In the virtual world, in Wang Yi's personal space. Hello, Wang Yi. Su Jingming stepped forward and shook her hand. Spear Demon, you're being too polite. Wang Yi shook his hand and smiled at Li Miao. Cat, you said that you wanted to find a team that satisfies me. Cat Li sat there and pointed at Su Jingming. I've brought the team leader here. Oh. Wang Yi looked at Su Jingming curiously. Spear Demon, are you that confident in inviting me? I heard from Miao that you want to find a strong teammate who can compete with teams from all over the world in the future. Su Jingming directly displayed his personal combat strength interface. Do you think I'm strong enough? Wang Yi looked at the personal combat strength interface Su Jingming had displayed and was stunned. Advanced Evolutionary Method. LV, 3 Spearmanship. 5,000 Combat Strength. Wang Yi was a little stunned, and her eyes burned as she stared at Su Jingming. Su Jingming, with your strength, a large group of experts will take the initiative to join your team as long as it's made public. I like teammates who share the same ideals, Su Jingming said. My other 3 teammates have been my best friends for years. I also know your character very well. You don't care about the huge fees you get from signing with those large corporations and are famous for keeping your word. I also need such teammates. I wonder if you're willing to join my team. I'm more than willing to accept your invitation, Spear Demon. Wang Yi smiled happily. Oh right, why didn't you invite Zhuang Ziyu? His archery isn't inferior to mine. He already has a team, so there's no point breaking up his team, Su Jingming said. Besides, you're Miao's good friend. I believe in Miao's taste in people. Cat. Wang Yi hugged Li Miao. You're really my lucky star. Hey, hey, hey. It's too early to be happy, Li Miao said. You still have to meet the other 3 teammates. You also need to settle some of the trivial matters regarding the team. Let's quickly do the confirmation, Wang Yi immediately said. Moments later. Heng Fang, Yang Qingxua, and Lu Chongyuan also came to Wang Yi's personal space. Let me do the introductions. This will be our team sharpshooter, Wang Yi, Su Jingming said with a smile. The 3 were a little surprised. Old Su, are you serious? Heng Fang looked at Su Jingming and then at Wang Yi. Wang Yi smiled at the 3 of them. In the future, I'll need the 3 of you to take care of me. Please protect a weak archer like me in combat. Awesome, that's awesome. Lu Chongyuan watched this in surprise and gave him a thumbs up. Old Su, you're amazing. You actually managed to recruit the strongest female sharpshooter. Our team is going to hit it big. It's my honor to join the team, Wang Yi said. With Captain's strength, just having any 4 civilian contestants would hit it big. Ha! Yang Qingxua, Heng Fang, and Lu Chongyuan looked at Su Jingming. Registration for the Firestarter Cup will begin soon. Let's first understand everyone's strength, Su Jingming said calmly. As the captain, I'll first reveal mine to you. But everyone, remember. This is a team secret. Don't spread it. As he spoke, Su Jingming displayed his personal combat strength interface. LV, 3 Spearmanship. Advanced evolutionary method. Yang Qingshua blinked. Brother Su. I'm so lucky. Awesome. Lu Chongyuan was a little stunned. 5,000 combat strength. I'm only at 2,000 plus. Heng Fong was a little dazed. Old Su, you're too ruthless. I'm not that strong yet, I'm still inferior to Master Lu Hai and Senior Lei Yunfang, Su Jingming said. However, my teammates are stronger than their teammates. I believe that with the 5 of us joining forces, we have a chance of becoming the Firestarter Cup's champion. Champion. The look in the eyes of Wang Yi, Yang Qingshua, Heng Fong, and Lu Chongyuan changed. Previously, I thought it would be good if we could enter the top 10, Lu Chongyuan couldn't help but mutter. Now, I actually feel that we stand a chance of coming first. There's only hope, Su Jingming said. Don't be too smug. After all, on the surface, only Master Lu Hai, Lei Yunfang, and Zhou Yi's combat techniques have reached LV3. But if I can break through, perhaps others can as well. We have to be careful in order to go further. I'll defer to old Su. Heng Fong immediately nodded. Brother Su is right. Yang Qingshua flattered. Shua, when did you become such a bootlicker? Lu Chongyuan murmured. I'll equally suck up to you when you reach LV3. Yang Qingshua curled his lips. Li Miaomiao looked at the 5 members of the team who were in a harmonious mood and smiled. According to the Firestarter Cup's rules, you have to submit how the prize money will be distributed during the registration. I'm fine with anything, Wang Yi said. She didn't care about the prize money. Before the virtual world's launch, she was already a national idol, and she earned a lot. After the virtual world's launch, she became one of the top 3 popular streamers on the Spectator platform and received a lot of tips. She didn't care about the prize money for the competition, she only cared about fighting stronger opponents. I'll defer to old Su. I'll defer to brother Su. Heng Fong, Yang Qingshua, and Lu Chongyuan were very straightforward. Then, we'll split it equally, Su Jingming said. No, Wang Yi, Heng Fong, and the others spoke almost simultaneously. Heng Fong stared at Su Jingming. Old Su, you're much stronger than us, you can match the 4 of us added together. You're insulting us if it's divided equally. We won't feel good either. Don't burden us with the prize money. Yang Qingshua and Lu Chongyuan looked at Su Jingming. Su Jingming hesitated. Of the 5 people in the team, Wang Yi was naturally the richest. He and Heng Fong had achievements in the past and didn't lack money. Lu Chongyuan and Shua were far worse. Su Jingming still wanted to help his old friends. Let's do this, we'll divide it according to strength, Li Miaomiao said. The others will receive 16%, and the rest will go to Jingming. Su Jingming looked at his friends. The difference between 16% and 20% wasn't that great, and he had to consider his friend's self-esteem. We also need a substitute, Su Jingming said. We'll give some to the substitute from my cut. With your strength, the substitute in our team isn't important, Wang Yi said. You can carry all of us. There's no need for our team to have a reserve. Li Miaomiao raised her hand in anticipation. Then, can I be a substitute player? Su Jingming, Heng Fong, Yang Qingshua, Lu Chongyuan, and Wang Yi glanced at Li Miaomiao and agreed with her. A talented singer being a substitute is also very impressive, Heng Fong said. It's our honor to have Sister.in.law as a substitute, Yang Qingshua said with a smile. Ever since he earned money in the virtual world, he didn't feel pressured financially. His mother's illness had also improved, so he became much more cheerful. In that case, Miao Miao will be the substitute player and she gets 6%. If the 4 of you get 16% each, I'll get 30%, Su Jingming said. We have no objections to how much you want to give Cat, Wang Yi said with a smile. Su Jingming didn't mind. In this era, strength was the foundation. The stronger one was, the greater the chance of earning money. Since there are no objections, it's decided. Su Jingming nodded. Then, you have to submit a team name during the registration, Li Miaomiao said. What's the name of our team? Team name. The 5 people pondered. Actually, we can accept a company's title sponsorship, Li Miaomiao said. I can arrange for a team to liaise with them. We should be able to earn a sum of money for the title sponsorship. When that happens, everyone can share the money. There's no need. Heng Fong looked at his teammates and shook his head. I don't really want to carry the name of those corporations. Forget it. Su Jingming rejected it as well. If we do a good job and advance by one more placing, the prize money will increase a lot. The prize money for the champion is 500 million. Li Miaomiao nodded and asked, what's the name of our team then? The team name, Su Jingming and the others hesitated. It's a headache to come up with a name. I thought about it for months but couldn't come up with a name for my daughter. Wang Yi shook her head. You guys do the thinking. Why don't you use the name of my song? Li Miaomiao blinked. For example, my most popular song, Pearwood. How about that? Team Pearwood. Wang Yi immediately said happily, I like this name. I've played Pearwood on repeat countless times. The name of Sister Law's song is very classy. I agree, Yang Qingshua immediately said. Me too, Lu Chongyuan said deliberately. Agreed. Heng Fong immediately said, Sister Law is really impressive. You've helped us solve another problem. Li Miaomiao smiled. I'm taking advantage of you. When our team becomes popular, the entire country will know of us, even the entire world. Won't my songs become even more popular? Su Jingming nodded. The basic matters for registration have been confirmed. Is there anything else, NV? We need a team manager who will be in charge of liaising with the officials of the virtual platform. I'll take on the role, Li Miaomiao said. I can handle all the other small matters, you can focus on the competition. Oh right, Wang Yi said, I've promised all my fans that I will make my team public at 8 p.m. tonight. When that happens, can our team make a public appearance? Su Jingming and the others looked at each other. All right. After all, the Firestarter Cup will be held soon. This will be our team's debut before the competition. Su Jingming nodded. Chapter 54. Showcase. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 54. Showcase in the martial arts arena in Sun Li's personal space. Director Tian. Sun Li stopped practicing his archery and looked at the silver-haired youth on the other end of the line. Wang Yi has already confirmed with us, the silver-haired youth said. She has confirmed it. Is she coming to our Golden Rock team? Sun Li asked, feeling a little nervous. Although the substitute still received a sufficient salary, participating in the Firestarter Cup would garner the attention of everyone. With enough popularity, the audience would give him plenty of tips. She rejected us explicitly, the silver-haired youth said. Not only us, but she also rejected the invitations from the other 4 major corporations. Oh. Sun Li felt relaxed but also curious. Then, what team did she join? She said that it's a secret and that she will officially announce it at 8 p.m., the silver-haired youth said. Forget about her. You're our team's linchpin now and our sharpshooter. It's up to you to perform at the Firestarter Cup. Sun Li said confidently, Director Tian, watch my performance when the time comes. The silver-haired youth nodded and ended the communication. Ha ha ha. I knew it. She's ranked in the top 3 on the spectator platform and is the strongest female sharpshooter. How can she be invited so easily? Sun Li smiled smugly. Everything was within my expectations. But she rejected all 5 corporations. Which team did she join? Sun Li was curious. I'll watch her live stream at 8 p.m. tonight. At 8 p.m. that night, Sun Li arrived at Wang Yi's live stream via the spectator platform. Sitting in the stands, Sun Li realized that the stands were filled with people. He couldn't help but sigh in surprise. Wang Yi's popularity is really terrifying. The live stream of her participation announcement has exceeded 10 million viewers. Is this what it means to be one of the top 3 streamers? Why is my popularity so low? In terms of strength, I'm not bad either. However, my popularity just doesn't increase. Sun Li felt envious and helpless. One's popularity wasn't necessarily high just because they were strong. For example, Yang Qingxua diligently managed his live stream and gave the audience all kinds of entertainment. Fairy Wang's ranking placed him in China's top 100, but he typically had only a few thousand viewers, barely exceeding 10,000. Compared to Wang Yi, it was 1,000 times worse. Sun Li's live stream was much less popular than Yang Qingxua's. It was mainly because his live stream was too boring, and he didn't know how to talk. Moreover, he wasn't handsome enough, so the attractiveness of his channel was naturally lacking. I've announced that I'll officially reveal the team I'm joining at 8 p.m. tonight. Wang Yi wore a customized cyan robe with fiery red patterns on it. She smiled and pointed at the clothes on her body. The clothes on me are my present team's uniform. Team uniform. None of the most famous teams wear this uniform. This team uniform looks quite nice. The audience discussed and guessed the team's name. Wang Yi smiled and said, "Now, let us welcome my 5 teammates." Whoosh! 5 figures appeared simultaneously beside Wang Yi. Li Miaomiao with her petite figure and beautiful looks, Su Jingming with his converged prowess, the refined Yang Qingxua, the handsome and confident Heng Fang, and the stocky Lu Chongyuan who stood like an upright bear. The 5 of them were wearing team uniforms. It's Cat. Ah, Cat. Many members of the audience shouted excitedly. Li Miaomiao had more than 10 million fans, and they were loyal fans. Although many people followed Su Jingming, they weren't hardcore fans. A Radiant Sun player like Cat can join the team. It seems like she's a substitute. It can be as low as Radiant Sun. That's Su Jingming. Su Jingming was the most dazzling participant in the first divine battle, but he gradually became mediocre afterward. Heng Fang and Yang Qingxua are quite famous among the other 3. Who's that big guy? Why haven't I seen him before? Lu Chongyuan. He's also a divine expert, but he's just a little less famous. There were all kinds of discussions. Wang Yi smiled and said, "Everyone must be very familiar with this person. She's my idol and also a genius singer. Our Cat. I'm very honored to be the team's manager." Li Miaomiao smiled at the audience and said, "I'm also taking on the role as a substitute member. These 4 are the main members of our team." Wang Yi walked to the edge of the team and quickly introduced them. This big guy is Lu Chongyuan, and Heng Fang is the most handsome. This is the youngest, Yang Qingxua. As for this, he's our brilliant and mighty captain, Su Jingming. Su Jingming, Yang Qingxua, Heng Fang, and Lu Chongyuan smiled at the audience. Lu Chongyuan was the most uneasy among them. He had never entered the World Martial Arts Tournament despite all his years, nor had he been the center of attention. He was clearly nervous being watched by millions of people. "I'm a little embarrassed by Sister Yi's praise," Su Jingming said with a smile. "However, being able to successfully invite Sister Yi to join our team before the Firestarter Cup registration begins has also surprised our entire team. I should be the one thanking you, Captain." "Thank you for your invitation," Wang Yi said. She was 35 this year, and she was the oldest on the team. Strictly speaking, Lu Chongyuan was her age, but Lu Chongyuan's birthday was in December, and Sister Yi's was in January. "Thank you for calling me the most handsome in the team, Sister Yi," Heng Fang said with a smile. "In the future, I will definitely kill the enemy ahead of time and not let the enemy threaten Sister Yi. I'll protect Sister Yi too, Lu Chongyuan said. Leave the assassins to me, Yang Qingshua said. As the few people in the team chatted, many people in the countless audience in the stands had their own thoughts. Wang Yi has joined Su Jingming's team. Interesting that a tall, short-haired woman watched this scene and got up. She wasn't willing to accept our invitation, but she eventually chose a team that centers around her. Sun Yuding also stood up. Sister Qing, Yuan is also in our team. I believe Yuan will be better than Wang Yi in the future. There's still a gap between Sister Yi and me. Yuan was a chubby girl. If Wang Yi was the head honcho of the national team and had won 3 Olympic archery championships, then Yuan was a rising star. She had just won the Olympic archery championship at the age of 17 last year, and she was also the youngest on the team. Most importantly, we have Master Dai Xiaoqing got up. She admired her senior brother and her master, Su Jingming and Zhang Qing, the most. Her master, Zhang Qing, the most legendary figure in the women's martial arts world. So she chose Jingming's team. The short and fat Tai Lianyan watched this scene. As one of the 3 great martial arts legends in China, Lu Hai and Lei Yunfang had already become legends. They were ranked in the top 5 of all humans in the world. Only he couldn't hold his place in the top 5 domestically. Domestically, Lu Hai, Lei Yunfang, and Zhou Yi were definitely in the top 3. Even Zhang Qing and Xiong Tianshan were thought to be stronger than Tai Lianyan. Tai Lianyan also felt stifled. I will prove that I'm qualified to be on par with Master Lu Hai and Lei Yunfang. Tai Lianyan got up and left alone. Haha. Old Su, your son is quite impressive to be able to invite the strongest female sharpshooter in China, Dai Tongda, a handsome middle-aged man who resembled Dai Xiaoqing, said with a smile. He's also your disciple. After Su Hong's body evolved, he looked middle-aged and truly resembled a fierce tiger. After practicing tiger pounce for 40 years, the ferocity of a tiger had long seeped into his bones. Su Hong nodded. With Wang Yi, Jingming and his team will be considered complete. They will be able to go further in the Firestarter Cup. Let's go, we mustn't waste time when it comes to training. Dai Tongda got up. We old guys have to train well. If we encounter Jingming, Xiaoqing, and the others at the Firestarter Cup and are crushed by them, it will be embarrassing. Yes, we have to let these youngsters know that age is still the deciding factor. Su Hong got up as well. The 2 older brothers left and made the best use of their time to train. Chapter 55. Firestarter Cup. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 55. Firestarter Cup. Is Wang Yi blind? Sun Li got up angrily. Why would she choose Su Jingming's team? Of the 4 of them, none of them are in the 2nd tier. Is it really because she's Li Miaomiao's fan? It will be a joke if they get eliminated early in the Firestarter Cup. Let's hope their team doesn't bump into ours. Sun Li felt uncomfortable. He originally believed that Su Jingming and the other 3 wouldn't be able to find a suitable teammate after he left the team, resulting in them finding a random warrior to make do with. Then, they would be eliminated in the first round of the Firestarter Cup. This was what he believed was the outcome of Su Jingming's team. But there was Wang Yi now. Su Jingming's team had someone to rely on. He's still far inferior to my team. Sun Li disappeared from the stands. Su Jingming's team has a better lineup than mine. Qing Zihao also stood in the stands and made a judgment based on comparison. The team I built is centered around Jing Bailong and Tingya, but Su Jingming isn't inferior to Jing Bailong. Wang Yi is also a sharpshooter second only to Zhou Yi in China. This doesn't look good. Whatever. There's no need to bicker with these martial artists. Qing Zihao smiled again. My goal isn't to defeat Su Jingming's team but to promote White Dragon. I want the streamers under the White Dragon to benefit and become more popular. The big time streamers would carry the small timers, old carrying the new. Even his team was participating in the Firestarter Cup. In the past month, Ching Ziheo's company had indeed done very well. A large number of teams consisting of babes, top experts, and professional tutors attracted many fans. These martial artists are vying for first place in strength. What I want is popularity, the popularity of all the streamers in the company. These martial artists aren't on the same level as me at all. Ching Ziheo was in a good mood. He was naturally in high spirits as the company was on a good trajectory for growth. China, Life Evolution Bureau. Director, registration for the Firestarter Cup will begin at 12 p.m. tonight, the secretary reported. How's the strength of the former top 3 seedlings? Director Zhou asked. Fang Yu, seed number 1, has the most terrifying talent in China. He has a chance of matching Tejano Zaire, who is ranked 4th in the world, the secretary said. His strength has been rising steadily, and his halberd is becoming even more terrifying. Roughly when will he clear the Cosmos Tower's 3rd level? Director Zhou asked. According to past experience, one has to reach LV3 in every aspect, weaponry, combat, movement, and so on, and have an advanced evolutionary method. Moreover, one has to have sufficiently high combat experience in order to have a chance of passing. Seed number 1 is only 20 after all. I estimate that he should be able to clear it in a month, the secretary said. What about seed number 2? Director Zhou asked. Potential seed number 2 was replaced 2 days ago, it's the 29-year-old Su Jingming now, the secretary said. Su Jingming's spearmanship has broken through to LV3, and his evolutionary method has reached advanced. However, it's a new breakthrough after all. His shield techniques and footwork are still flawed. I estimate that he will need about a month to clear the Cosmos Tower's 3rd level. Potential seed number 3, Zhao Pan, is only 18 this year. His combat techniques, footwork, and other aspects have reached LV 299%. He only started learning martial arts after the virtual world's launch. He reached this level in just a month or so in the virtual world. His improvement speed is indeed astonishing, and his talent is terrifying. Director Zhou nodded when he heard that. Continue paying attention to the information on all the divine experts. China has a large population, so it's very normal to have a few peerless geniuses. What we need to groom are peerless geniuses. Yes, sir, the secretary replied. There's also Lu Hai and Lei Yunfang, Director Zhou said. The 2 of them are the strongest in China after all. They are one step ahead, and it's entirely possible for them to stay in the lead all the way. The secretary nodded. Coach Lu Hai is a grandmaster who is well-rounded in every aspect. Lei Yunfang is also the world's #1 movement expert. The 2 of them are national treasure experts. Director Zhou nodded. Collect the data carefully at this Firestarter Cup. What we need isn't just individual strength, but also experts who know how to cooperate and are good at teamwork. Yes, sir, the secretary said. You may leave, Director Zhou said. The secretary left respectfully. Everyone's strength is constantly changing with time. Director Zhou looked at the detailed information on everyone on the projection. I hope that the clash between the strong at the Firestarter Cup will stimulate more of their potential. Registration for the China Firestarter Cup began at midnight on August 29, 2081. In Li Miaomiao's personal space. Now that Su Jingming and the other 3 were gathered, Li Miaomiao sat there and gently tapped open the combat space before opening the Firestarter Cup. Team Pearwood, Captain. Su Jingming. Team members. Wang Yi, Heng Fang, Yang Qingxua, Lu Chongyuan. Substitute member. Li Miaomiao. Team manager. Li Miaomiao. Li Miaomiao began entering the team information. I've also submitted the distribution for the prize money. All of it has been submitted successfully. The 5 of you have to agree to the application before the registration is considered a success. I see it. A system notification popped up on Su Jingming's end, asking him to confirm the information. Confirm. Confirm. Su Jingming, Wang Yi, Heng Fang, Yang Qingxue, and Lu Chongyuan tapped their fingers gently to confirm all the information needed for registration. Su Jingming and the others then saw a notification, registration for Team Pearwood completed. As of now, a total of 159 teams have registered for the Firestarter Cup, Heng Fang exclaimed in surprise. We registered immediately, but more than 100 teams have already registered. That's too fast. China has nearly 5,000 divine experts now, but there are only about 100 teams. It's not a lot, Su Jingming said. Let's not talk about this. Take a look at the detailed competition process. Li Miaomiao tapped open the detailed process. At midnight on September 1st, the preliminaries will begin. The top 30 will be selected to enter the main competition. Master Lu Hai's team and Lei Yunfang's team will be seeded teams number 1 and number 2 of the Firestarter Cup. They will be exempted from the preliminaries and will enter the main competition directly. Li Miaomiao sighed with emotion as she read. These 2 seniors receive extraordinary treatment. Wang Yi said, after all, only these 2 seniors are on China's Cosmos ranking. Su Jingming nodded. Captain, you can't clear the 3rd floor of Cosmos Tower with your current strength. Wang Yi said. Your combat strength is twice as high as ours, one of you can defeat the 5 of us. I can't clear it. I've tried. Su Jingming shook his head. Senior Lei Yunfang's evolutionary method has reached advanced. His movement technique is so impressive that he has cleared it many times over. My movement technique is still lacking. I still have a chance of winning against ordinary tigers, but once the Tiger King leads the tigers to attack, I'm helpless. Captain, you have to focus on training your movement technique, Wang Yi said. It's up to you whether our team can win. Only you can deal with Lei Yunfang and Senior Lu Hai, we can't stop them at all. Yeah, I'll focus on my movement technique and shield techniques. Su Jingming nodded. Although shield techniques and spearmanship use different forms of force delivery, they have many commonalities. Once I break through, it will also help with my spearmanship. During the Firestarter Cup, the teams in the beginning will be weaker. I'll use my shield techniques to fight the enemy and hone my shield techniques, Su Jingming said. I'll only use my spear when I encounter a strong enemy. Would a weak opponent need you to use your spear, Jingming? Heng Fang said. Letting you use your spear represents our failure. If it were Lu Hai, Lei Yunfang, and Zhou Yi, we wouldn't be able to handle that, Lu Chongyuan said. You'll have to be up, old Su. We have to work hard too. We can't just rely on Captain, Wang Yi said. If some of us can break through to LV3, we will be more confident even if we fight Lu Hai and Lei Yunfang's team. Don't underestimate the other teams, Su Jingming said. If I can break through, there might be experts that have reached LV3 privately. Yes. Everyone's hearts tightened. Heng Fang nodded and said, nobody can be sure how many experts China has. It's even possible to make a breakthrough in combat. It's fine as long as we're careful. It's not like we aren't afraid of all opponents, Su Jingming said. Let's call it a day. In the future, our team will be training together from 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. every day. We can make arrangements for the rest of the time. Yes, Captain, the other 5 replied in unison. Time passed, and in the blink of an eye, it was late at night on August 31st, registration for the Firestarter Cup ended. The Firestarter Cup preliminaries were about to begin. Chapter 56. The tournament begins. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 56. The tournament begins in China's official live stream channel. There are so many people. Su Jingming, Li Miaomiao, Wang Yi, Heng Fang, Yang Qingxue, and Lu Chongyuan had all gathered. Even their family and friends had arrived in groups. The number of viewers in the live stream has already exceeded 800 million, and it's still rising. It's crazy. Su Jingming sighed. Hello, all viewers. Let me introduce the two people beside me. The host, Lu Xian, had just started speaking on the commentary platform when all the stands erupted in tsunami-like cheers. Lu Xian smiled and continued, I believe these two guests can fully appreciate everyone's enthusiasm. The person beside me is the world champion on the Cosmos ranking, Teacher Lu Hai. Today is Teacher Lu Hai's first participation in a live stream. The stocky Lu Hai sat on the commentary platform, but he appeared much more gentle and reserved as he smiled at the audience. Hello, everyone, Lu Hai waved his hand and said. Another wave of cheers erupted. Lu Hai had countless fans among the common folk and was extremely popular. It was just that Lu Hai never participated in live streams or any activities. This was the first time he was live streaming. Ha ha ha, in the stands, Yang Qingshua couldn't help but say, Master is usually like a lion or a tiger in front of us. He feels like a big fuzzy cat today and even knows to wave his hand obediently. I've recorded your words. I'll let Master listen to them later, Heng Fong said. The nerve of you to dare say that Master is like a big fuzzy cat. There's really some resemblance. Li Miao Miao stared at Lu Hai on the commentary platform. Lu Hai had a steadfast expression, framed by his thick facial hair. When he glared, he was like a tiger or a lion with terrifying might. However, he now resembled a big fuzzy cat smiling at the audience. Heard that? Even sister. In law says so, Yang Qingshua immediately said. Forget it then. I won't tell Master. Heng Fong watched carefully. To be honest, Master does look like a lucky cat while sitting there waving. Su Jingming said, Master and Senior Lei Yunfang don't have to participate in the preliminaries, so they can be guests. They will be participating in the main competition later. They won't be sitting here on the commentary platform when that happens. So it's very possible that this is the only time they'll be on the commentary platform during the Firestarter Cups events. Wang Yi said. If he's eliminated early, he might find himself sitting on the commentary platform again, Li Miao Miao said. Eliminated early. Su Jingming and the others looked at Li Miao Miao. For example, if Lu Hai and Senior Lei Yunfang encounter each other early, won't one side be eliminated? Li Miao Miao said. You have a point, Wang Yi said. But according to the tournament rules, the probability of them meeting each other before the finals is very low. We will probably meet one of them even earlier. Then, we'll eliminate them. Li Miao Miao clenched her fists. As a substitute member, I believe in the strength of our team. On the commentary platform, Lu Xian introduced, as for this person, he's Teacher Lei Yunfang, ranked 5th on the Cosmos ranking. Lei Yunfang had a scar on his face, and he had a cold expression. He was a little thin, and he usually didn't smile. But on the commentary platform, he forced a smile and waved his hand at the 9.100 million strong audience. Senior Lei Yunfang's smile is so fake, Su Jingming commented. It's not easy to make him smile. Heng Fong nodded. But at least he's trying his best to smile. Remember to take a screenshot of his smile. This is a famous scene, Yang Qingshua said. On the commentary platform, Lu Xian said enthusiastically, Teachers, it's rare for you to visit our live stream for the first time. Look, there are already 900 million viewers, how passionate is that? Do you have anything to say to us? I'm looking forward to, Lu Hai smiled and said, a team that will defeat my team at the Firestarter Cup. Another earth-shattering cheer erupted. As for me, I'm looking forward to fighting brother Lu Hai in the Firestarter Cup, Lei Yunfang said. Lu Hai also looked at Lei Yunfang, the fastest saber expert in the world. See you in the competition, Lu Hai said. Wow! My blood is pumping even before the Firestarter Cup begins, Lu Xin said excitedly. It's almost midnight of September 1st. All the teams registering for the Firestarter Cup are about to head to the preparation area. Meanwhile, Su Jingming, Wang Yi, Heng Fang, Yang Qingxua, and Lu Chongyuan received a notification. The preliminaries are about to begin. Please proceed to the combat space. Let's go. Su Jingming got up, and the other four got up. All the best, son, Mrs. Su cheered. All the best, Dad. Yang Qingshua's son cheered. Hubby, you're the most handsome. Heng Fang's wife shouted. All the best, Daddy. Three girls looked at Lu Chongyuan in admiration. Mom, you're the world champion. A girl looked at Wang Yi and shouted happily. Team Pearwood, invincible. Li Miao Miao cheered. Su Jingming and the others headed to the combat space amidst the cheers of their relatives and friends. Whoosh! In the combat space, in the preparation area of the Firestarter Cup. There are so many people. Su Jingming and the others appeared out of thin air and saw a dense crowd. A total of 821 teams registered this time, and most divine experts participated, Heng Fang said. I heard that on the last day of the registration, many divine experts lived stream to gather teammates. Nobody cared as long as the other party was a divine and could make do to form a team. It's easy for us to invite teammates because we are strong enough and know many experts, Lu Chongyuan said. Many civilian experts don't have many friends. It's even possible that they only broke through to divine in the last 2 days. Their strength is also at the bottom of the divine rankings, so they don't know many other divines. If they want to recruit teammates, they can only do so publicly. It's very normal for 5 unfamiliar divines to form a ragtag team and join in on the fun. It's indeed difficult for civilian contestants in the early stages. Su Jingming nodded. But with a population of more than 1 billion, their numbers among divines will keep increasing. There are nearly 5,000 divine experts now. I've done a rough count, Wang Yi said. There are less than 2,000 people like you and me who have professional training. The others are all civilian gladiators. In other words, more than half of the divine gladiators are now civilian gladiators. There were very few professional gladiators in the past, Su Jingming said. In the past 30 years, there were only about 300 men and women on the national team. Master, Master! A shout suddenly sounded from afar as a handsome youth ran over. Ha! Su Jingming looked at him carefully. Fatty, you've become thin. A handsome youth ran over and said excitedly, Master, I've practiced Shadow Leopard evolution, and it has especially good weight loss effects. Look, I'm much more handsome, right? Many of our female classmates from before have taken the initiative to woo me. They can keep dreaming. Now, I, Pang Yun, have the right to choose. Let me do the introductions. Su Jingming smiled at his teammates. This is a disciple of mine from Binhai. This disciple of mine is a little fat and lazy. He doesn't want to train his body and only uses a very light spear to learn spearmanship from me. I taught him in private for 3 years, and he learned 50% to 60% of my spearmanship. He made the right choice, Wang Yi said. With the evolutionary method, the body can now naturally evolve to its limits. But for the basics of spearmanship, it's difficult to get Su Jingming to teach you spearmanship in a 1.1 manner these days. Yeah, I lucked out. I reached divine yesterday. Pang Yun was delighted. I immediately flaunted it in the high school class chat and thought of ways to recruit some divine experts to form a team. Regardless, I'm participating in China's first national cup. All the best, Pang Yun, Su Jingming said. Master, I definitely won't make it through the preliminaries. However, all the best to you, Master. Pang Yun clenched his fists. Even if you can't defeat Lu Hai and Master Lei Yunfang, you have to come in third. Shut up. You call wishing me third place a congratulation? Su Jingming kicked his ass, and Pang Yun ran off with a smile. Master, when I'm eliminated, I'll definitely watch your live stream and tip you. Pang Yun ran into the distance and joined his teammates. You taught him in 1.1 private tutoring sessions for 3 years. Hung Fong was surprised. Your time is very precious, right? I remember that you didn't spend much time teaching your disciples at the combat center. This was personally requested by senior brother Fong Xinglong, Su Jingming said. Moreover, the annual private tutoring fee is 7 digits. The moment he finished speaking, the preparation space began to sound. The preliminaries are about to begin. Countdown. 10, 9, 8, all the teams in the preparation space fell silent. The moment the countdown ended, all the teams disappeared and were sent to the combat area of the preliminaries. Chapter 57. Synchronized ranking. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 57. Synchronized ranking. Su Jingming and the other 4 transformed into 5 streams of light that landed in the wilderness. Su Jingming looked ahead. In the vast wilderness, there was a massive alien army in the distance. Team Pearwood, you can be indefinitely provided with weapons and equipment in the preliminaries, but your stamina and injuries won't be replenished by the system before the preliminaries end. Please consider the allocation of your stamina. A voice echoed in the ears of Su Jingming and the others. In 5 minutes, the orc army up ahead will launch an attack. What you need to do is completely wipe out the orc army. The orc army has a total of 1,000 orc soldiers. The number of soldiers killed by all the participating teams will be announced simultaneously. Killing all the orc soldiers is considered as wiping out the orc army. Remember, only the 30 teams that finish the fastest will enter the main competition. Su Jingming and the others immediately started preparing their weapons and equipment. 5 people against an army. Wang Yi said. Thankfully, we have unlimited supplies of weapons and equipment. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to carry so many arrows. Consider the allocation of stamina, Su Jingming said. Everyone has to wear armor, don't wear leather armor. I can see that. Many of the orc army's cavalry carry bows and arrows. They are cavalry archers. Yang Qingshua nodded seriously. And there's heavy cavalry. What are those generals riding? What huge mounts? Su Jingming and the others carefully observed the orc army in the distance as they selected their equipment and weapons. The orcs had brown skin and ugly faces, and the army mostly consisted of foot soldiers. There were also snow wolf light cavalry with bows and arrows and the even more terrifying heavy cavalry. There were also a few generals that could be vaguely seen riding massive drakes. The orc army was also observing the 5 humans. The general had already begun giving instructions to his subordinates. The number of viewers in China's official live stream exceeded 1 billion. It could be said that most people in China were watching China's official live stream late at night. 821 divine teams, Lu Xian said. Every divine team needs to wipe out an orc army. Only the 30 teams that finish the fastest will enter the main competition. They will have a chance to fight the team led by Teacher Lu Hai and Teacher Lei Yunfang. This preliminaries mechanism is quite interesting, Lu Hai nodded and evaluated. The number of soldiers killed by all the participating teams is synchronized and publicized. This means that every team knows the number of kills the other teams have accomplished. Even teams that are hiding their strength have to ensure that they are in the top 30. A team that isn't in the top 30 needs to take greater risks and put their lives on the line. Otherwise, they will still be eliminated even if they wipe out the orc army. Lei Yunfang nodded. Moreover, it looks like this orc army isn't easy to deal with. Teachers, I can give some tidbits. Lu Xian looked at the information in her hand and smiled. The orc army is designed to be at a difficulty that will wipe out most divine teams, and the clearance rate will be controlled at about 10%. 10%. Lu Hai and Lei Yunfang nodded slightly. If one takes risks to pursue speed, the clearance rate might decrease further, Lu Xian said. Of course, there will still be 30 passing teams. Please believe in the virtual world system's deduction abilities. Alright, the Orc army's attack has officially begun. Lu Xian looked at the live stream behind her. There was no cover in the wilderness. On one side was Su Jingming and company, while on the other side was the Orc army. Countdown to the Orc army's attack. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. 3, 2, 1. The moment the countdown ended, a general from the Orc army in the distance pointed his sword at Su Jingming and the others and issued an order in Orcish. Immediately, the Orc foot soldiers charged over amidst a rumble. At the same time, the Snow Wolf light cavalry started moving. These light cavalry soldiers were divided into two groups as they carried out a pincer attack on Su Jingming and the others. Whoosh! The Snow Wolf light cavalry on both sides raised their bows and shot out arrows simultaneously. Whoosh! 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 The arrows rained down. Su Jingming and the other three finally experienced what it was like to suffer raining arrows. The moment those 300 arrows came falling from the sky, Su Jingming and the others moved, unwilling to be live targets. Dozens of arrows also landed in their area. Raise your shields. Su Jingming, Lu Chongyuan, Heng Fang, and Yang Qingshua raised their shields, completely blocking the area above them and protecting the entire team. There was a crackling sound as arrows struck their leg armor, producing clanking sounds. Thankfully, they are ordinary arrows. If it were an armor-piercing arrow shot by a divine sharpshooter, we would be in trouble, Yang Qingshua said. If all 300 cavalry archers were comparable to divine sharpshooters, only Captain might be able to put up a fight. We'd all be finished, Heng Fang said. The foot soldiers will be on us in a while. Sister Yi, it's up to you then, Su Jingming said. Don't worry. Wang Yi nodded. After suppressing them with 3 waves of arrows, the Orc infantry finally arrived. The arrows in the distance also stopped, otherwise, firing another wave of arrows would implicate those foot soldiers. Incoming. Su Jingming and Lu Chongyuan held 2 shields each and were in charge of protecting the team, mainly sharpshooter Wang Yi. There were too many Orc soldiers, so it was more appropriate for the 2 of them to use shields simultaneously. Heng Fang held a lance while Yang Qingshua held a silver spear. The 2 of them were in charge of killing the nearby Orc soldiers. Roar! These Orc soldiers roared and charged over. Instantly, more than 10 Orc soldiers attacked simultaneously. Most of them stabbed out with spears. At the same time, they threw out chain hammers and axes, all of which crashed down on Su Jingming and the others. Boom! Boom! Su Jingming blocked with his 2 shields, and with a jolt, the Orcs on the left staggered back while the Orcs on the right fell. The 2 shields Lu Chongyuan held were even larger, blocking a group of Orc soldiers. Swish! 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 Wang Yi began to fire rapidly with her bow. She only drew the bow halfway before firing, shooting 3 arrows every time. 3 arrows shot out simultaneously. In the blink of an eye, 9 arrows had shot out. The most terrifying thing was that every arrow stabbed into the head of an Orc soldier. Wang Yi was expressionless. Every time she drew arrows and shot, there was a rhythm to it. Only when the quiver emptied did she pause for a moment before retrieving another from the virtual world system. She spent the rest of her time shooting mercilessly. Sister Yi is amazing, Yang Qingshua shouted. Sister Yi, you're impressive, Heng Fang said with a smile. He held his lance, and Yang Qingshua was in charge of killing some Orc soldiers that were coming close due to their charge. As Wang Yi rapidly slaughtered the soldiers with her bow and arrows, Heng Fang and Yang Qingshua naturally found it much easier. Su Jingming and Lu Chongyuan only needed to protect their teammates. Whoosh! A large number of orc soldiers kept charging at Su Jingming's team like waves, coming wave after wave. They wanted to wipe out Su Jingming's team completely. Team Pearwood was like a reef under the impact of huge waves, blocking the orcs' frenzied attacks. Su Jingming looked up. The number of soldiers killed by all the teams was displayed high in the sky. First, Team Zhou Yi, Captain. Zhou Yi, number of enemies killed. 205 second. Team Fairy Dance, Captain. Zhang Qing, number of enemies killed. 183 fifth, Team Pearwood, Captain. Su Jingming, number of enemies killed. 152 sixth, Team Heavenly Note, Captain. Zhuang Ziyu, number of enemies killed. 139 tenth, Team Golden Rock, Captain. Tai Lianyun, number of enemies killed. 123 11th, Team Shield Axe, Captain Xiong Tianshan, number of enemies killed. 122 19th, Team Urim, Captain. Fong Yu, number of enemies killed. 98 33rd, Team White Horse, Captain. Zheng Bailong, number of enemies killed. 69 821st, Team Happy, Captain. Pang Yun, number of enemies killed. 12 The number of enemies killed by all the teams kept jumping in the sky, and the ranking of the teams kept changing. Most teams focused on the top 30. Chapter 58. Pang Yun's father. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 58. Pang Yun's father. Countless audience members were also paying attention to the rankings and the preliminaries live stream. China's official live stream space was very wide, and 821 live streams were displayed simultaneously. One of them was the main. Only 33rd, Zheng Bailong, you're an expert in the second tier for F***'s sake, Qing Zihao was reeling in anxiety. The teammates I assigned you are also experts. We've spent so much money, so you need to show that it was worth it. You have to be in the top 30, no, you have to be in the top 28. Qing Zihao watched the changes in the ranking. According to the competition rules, the last two will be fighting seeded teams number 1 and number 2. They will definitely be eliminated if they encounter Lu Hai and Lei Yunfang's teams. Top 28. Qing Zihao stared at the screen. I've thrown money at you, Zheng Bailong, so you have to give me results. Meanwhile, Qing Zihao glanced at Su Jingming's team. A team that didn't spend much is now ranked 5th, Qing Zihao felt uncomfortable. Money didn't seem to be that useful anymore. All the best, Sister E. Li Miao Miao zoomed in on the live stream and full-screen Team Pearwood's live stream. She could clearly see Su Jingming and his team defending against the orc army. Sister Yi's archery is amazing, Xiaozeng praised. She shoots out 9 arrows in a blink of an eye, and they are all so accurate. When will I ever be 1/10th as good as Sister E? Let's talk about it when you catch up with me, Sister Kong said with a smile. Qing Zihao's team White Dragon is now ranked 33rd. He's probably jumping with anxiety. Li Miao Miao snorted softly. In terms of spending money, he can't compare with those large corporations. In terms of individual strength, there aren't any experts like Lu Hai, Lei Yunfang, Zhou Yi, and Jingming, who can attract experts to join them. His team White Dragon has no future. Look, look. Xiaoqing's team Fairy Dance is amazing. Li Miao Miao's eyes lit up. Ranked 2nd now, Sister Zhang Qing's dual sword techniques are brilliant. She actually takes the initiative to shuttle between the orc army. Those orcs are unable to utilize their numerical advantage. Wherever Sister Zhang Qing goes, a large number of orcs collapse. So cool. Sister Kong and Xiaozeng were dazzled. The main match shown on China's official live stream was Team Fairy Dance. The battle scene composed of 5 women from Team Fairy Dance was very beautiful. Among them were sharpshooter Wang and Wan's flawless arrows, Sun Yuding's shield and sword techniques, Yuan Yujiao's fierce and domineering dual shields, and Dai Xiaoqing's dual sabers' dynamic maneuvers. Even more dazzling was Captain Zhang Qing. She was the perfect example of being capable of fighting 1,000 single-handedly. She didn't need to coordinate with her teammates at all, she just charged into the orc army alone. Wherever she passed, waves of orcs collapsed and died. Teachers, what do you think of the swordsmanship of Team Fairy Dance Captain, Zhang Qing? Lu Xian asked. Fairy-like. Lu Hai continued smiling. It's no wonder the Fairy Dance Group sponsored Zhang Qing. This girl's dual sword techniques are indeed filled with aesthetics. Moreover, Zhang Qing is #1 in terms of sword techniques domestically. Yes, her swordsmanship is quite good. Lei Yunfang, who was used to being aloof, nodded and commented, but she's already past 40. Brother Lu Hai, you call her a girl. She was still a junior high student participating in a junior high martial arts competition when I first got to know her, Lu Hai said. Is it wrong to call her a girl? Lei Yunfang fell silent and shot a glance at Lu Hai. This old man was in his 70s. Professional gladiators were almost all juniors in front of him. A team with powerful sharpshooters now has the advantage, Lu Hai continued his evaluation. But the situation will change in a while. The impact of the light cavalry will be even more ferocious than that of the foot soldiers. The heavy cavalry is covered in heavy armor, and they don't have their heads exposed. It will be very difficult for the archers to be of use. When that happens, it will be up to the other teammates. In the stands. Sigh, I lost. The handsome youth, Pang Yun, returned to the stands unwillingly and walked to a middle-aged couple. Son, not bad. The woman was beautiful and had an air of nobility. Of the 821 teams, your team isn't the first to be eliminated. But my results are ranked last. Pang Yun sat down and looked up at the ranking, 821st, Team Happy, Captain Pang Yun. Number of enemies killed. 22, this was his team's final result because all their members had died in battle. Pang Yun looked up and felt a little helpless. The orc army's charge was terrifying. All kinds of spears came stabbing at us from different angles, and even concealed weapons such as axes were thrown at us. It was tough defending even with our shields working together. I think it's not bad that we killed 22 of them. But look at Senior Zhang Qing and my master, Su Jingming, they're all extremely relaxed. The orc army's charge doesn't pose a threat to them at all. With that said, Pang Yun tapped gently and zoomed in on the battle scene of Su Jingming's team. Indeed, Su Jingming was very relaxed. He held 2 shields in his hands, and with a jolt of his 2 shields, 2 large orcs stumbled back. Wang Yi was well protected and could fire as many arrows as she wanted. Your master is very talented after all. The middle-aged man nodded and commented, I think highly of his spearmanship. I never expected him to be quite good at shield techniques as well. Dad, you made me practice spearmanship back then and specially asked me to learn spearmanship from Su Jingming for 3 years. You even said that there was no need to train my body. Pang Yun looked at the middle-aged man and chuckled. Dad, did you know something in advance? The middle-aged man and the woman looked at each other. This kid, the middle-aged man looked at his son and said calmly, you're not young anymore. Keep things to yourself and don't spread it. Got it. Pang Yun nodded obediently. China is holding the Firestarter Cup, but so is the United States of America, the EU, Russia, and other countries, the middle-aged man said. The countries only want to seize more hope. Seize more hope, Pang Yun fell into thought. The woman beside him smiled and said, Son, just practice your spear. Your father and I are quite satisfied that you reached divine in 1 month. Continue working hard in the future. Alright, Pang Yun replied immediately. Also, The middle-aged man watched Team Pearwood and the scene of Su Jingming using his shield technique to block the charge. In his vision, the scenes of Su Jingming's battle slowed down by 10 times. Your master is someone worth befriending. Interact with him more if possible. Oh. Pang Yun nodded obediently and looked at his father. Dad, what did you notice? The middle-aged man glanced at his son, and out of exasperation, he didn't say a word. Life Evolution Bureau. China's official livestream has a viewership of 1.028 billion. It's almost at the maximum possible number with some fluctuations, the secretary reported. Director Zhou sat there and watched the scene in front of him. With more than 1 billion viewers, the system quickly locked onto some key figures. They were all figures that China focused on. Only one person was labeled with a purple glow. Ha! Director Zhou smiled when he saw this. How rare to have little Pang watch the Firestarter Cup. Mr. Pang now spends an average of 22 hours a day in the virtual world. He works very hard, the secretary said, but don't worry about his health. Even if he doesn't have to worry about his health, he still needs to relax his mind, Director Zhou said. He immediately tapped the screen and contacted another friend. An elder appeared on the screen. Brother Fong, has little Pang been spending 22 hours a day in the virtual world? Director Zhou asked. Won't he tire out? We've also persuaded him, but he refuses to listen, Fong said. He said that this is the most critical moment, and we have to seize every second. Okay. Director Zhou nodded. In short, we have to ensure that his body is in its most healthy state. Definitely. Fong nodded and said, little Pang's side is one path. The martial arts experts you're in charge of are the more important path, an endless path. I hope that more genius experts will appear in the Firestarter Cup. Director Zhou nodded. Let's work hard together. Let's work hard together. Fong smiled. Chapter 59. High Talent in Shield Techniques. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 59. High Talent in Shield Techniques in the Wilderness. Large numbers of orcs collapsed before turning ethereal and dissipating. These orc foot soldiers decreased in number, but none of them showed any fear. They roared and charged until the last orc collapsed. None of the orc foot soldiers fled. Su Jingming and the others were a little surprised. It should be set by the rules of the virtual world, Heng Fong said. If these orc foot soldiers flee in all directions, it will be somewhat troublesome to wipe out all the enemies with just the 5 of us. Be careful. The light cavalry is preparing their charge, Wang Yi reminded. A cavalry charge is much more terrifying than an infantry charge, Su Jingming warned his team as he carefully observed. The 300-strong Snow Wolf light cavalry gathered together and shot arrows from afar. After Su Jingming and the others raised their shields to block the arrows, these light cavalry troops retracted their bows and arrows and picked up the spears on the Snow Wolf's back. Every Snow Wolf light cavalry soldier now held a spear and started charging at high speeds. Rumble. The cavalry charged forward with spears pointing out like trees. How fast? We can't even escape. Yang Qingshua was alarmed. I'll hold the front. Su Jingming held his 2 shields and stood in front of the team. Lu Chongyuan, Yang Qingshua, and Heng Fong fanned out behind him to protect Wang Yi. Swish. 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 Wang Yi started firing. Faced with the light cavalry running at high speeds, she also shot out 1 arrow at a time instead of the previous 3 arrows with each shot. Every arrow she shot caused orc cavalrymen to fall from the snow wolves, but these snow wolves were very agile and jumped to avoid the fallen soldiers. These fallen soldiers quickly turned ethereal and dissipated. When they were close to 50 meters, Heng Fong threw out the short spears in his hand. Whoosh! 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 Short spears tore through the air and easily penetrated the bodies of the orc cavalry. Sometimes, they even penetrated 2 orcs in succession. But after throwing out 6 short spears, the Snow Wolf light cavalry arrived in front of him. Boom! Su Jingming guarded the front like a reef. The Snow Wolf light cavalry's charge crashed into Su Jingming's dual shields, and they couldn't help but tumble and fall. My force-borrowing technique is still inferior to Master's. Su Jingming held his dual shields, tilted them, and did some slight footwork. Anything that came close to Su Jingming would definitely hit his shield, the Snow Wolf that slammed into him would be sent flying. However, he could only block a portion of them. Even being at the forefront, he could only ward off 60% of the pressure. Lu Chongyuan, Heng Fang, and Yang Qingxua also needed to aid in the defense. Although I have to hone my footwork and shield techniques, I have to leave some soldiers for my teammates. Su Jingming was the most relaxed. If he unleashed his full combat strength and held his spear, he could wipe out the entire orc army alone. But there was no need, his goal was to be stronger. He wanted to be on the Cosmos ranking. He wanted to fight Lu Hai, Lei Yunfang, and Zhou Yi in the future. He had to seize every moment to hone himself and become stronger. I have to improve myself as soon as possible. Master and Senior Lei Yunfang are still a huge gap ahead of me. Su Jingming knew this very well. Under the charge of the Snow Wolf light cavalry, he tried his best to ward them off with his footwork and shield techniques. Time passed. The team rankings in the sky were also changing. Sharpshooters are losing their usefulness. In the live stream stands, Qing Zihao was a little nervous. Zheng Bailong's closed. Combat strength is showing. My team White Dragon is already ranked 28th. In the stands, the silver-haired youth from the Golden Rock group was also watching. He nodded slightly. Tai Lianyun is indeed strong. Zhao Fan and Zhang Feng, the 2 genius contestants I selected, have also done very well. Their ranking has rapidly increased, and they are already 7th. Only this sharpshooter, Sun Li, is a burden. If we had succeeded in inviting Wang Yi, my team would be much stronger. The silver-haired youth frowned slightly. Wang Yi is the only one in her that's impressive. Why is their team ranked 1 place higher than my team Golden Rock, at 6th place? Even her team's results are better than Zhuang Ziyu's. Wang Yi's team only has Wang Yi, and Zhuang Ziyu's team Heavenly Note has the help of Yu Qing, Zhang Qian, Wu Sai, and the other experts. Team Heavenly Note is clearly stronger. The silver-haired youth was a little puzzled as he zoomed in on Su Jingming's team and Zhuang Ziyu's team. Upon closer inspection, he saw the difference. What's going on? The silver-haired youth frowned. Su Jingming is blocking the charge of the Snow Wolf light cavalry alone. As for Team Heavenly Note, Yu Qing and Wu Sai are holding dual shields at the front. Is their dual efforts only comparable to Su Jingming's? Su Jingming is that good with a shield? I don't get it. The silver-haired youth felt a headache. Is there no public ranking that has some credibility? The experts in the 2nd tier are actually inferior to those in the 3rd tier. Even if a corporation wants to spend money, we don't know who to contract. Su Jingming was in the 3rd tier, and Yu Qing was in the 2nd. Wu Sai was also recognized as having 3rd tier strength. Yet, the Yu Qing-Wu Sai duo was on par with Su Jingming when it came to fending off the light cavalry's charge. Time passed. The 300 light cavalry troops were fearless, they charged forward time and time again. After finishing the charge, they regrouped and charged forward again until the last light cavalry soldier died. Old Su, you have to leave more orcs for us. The pressure on us isn't high enough, Heng Fang said with a smile. Conserve your stamina. The 5 generals and the heavy cavalry are the biggest threat, Su Jingming said. You'll be under enough pressure later. We still have to pay attention to the team's ranking, Wang Yi said. Su Jingming looked up at the team ranking and said, we just need to make sure we're in the top 20. Nothing else matters much. Teams that place 29th and 30th would encounter Lei Yunfang and Lu Hai's teams in the first round, they would suffer the most. Su Jingming also believed that his team wasn't sufficiently prepared and didn't want to encounter his master and the others too early. Incoming. It's the last wave. Su Jingming and the others stared intently as the orc army generals and heavy cavalry in the distance only started charging in an orderly fashion after the light cavalry died. Boom! Boom! The mounts of the orcs' heavy cavalry were similar to rhinoceroses, they were completely armored. These orcs even had helmets on their heads. Under the high-speed charge of the nearly 100-strong heavy cavalry, it was like a flood of steel. This scene made Lu Chongyuan, Heng Fang, Yang Qingxua, and Wang Yi's hearts tremble. "Captain, it's better if you fend off most of them." Lu Chongyuan was a little uneasy. "I'm not confident. Borrow their force. Don't foolishly fight it all head-on," Su Jingming said. At this moment, Heng Fang, Yang Qingxua, Lu Chongyuan, and Wang Yi felt much more at ease with their captain in front of them. Swish! 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 Wang Yi tried firing 3 arrows, but the arrows bounced off the heavy cavalry's armor. "We have to use armor-piercing arrows, and we have to find their weak spots," Wang Yi said. "I'll be counting on you." As Wang Yi spoke, she took out an arrow. The arrowhead was clearly much larger, and she fully drew the bow. Wang Yi stared at the charging orc heavy cavalry and only released the arrow after some preparation. The arrow tore through the air and accurately penetrated an orc's helmet and visor. Blood splattered out of the visor, and the heavy-armored orc fell off his mount, causing a little chaos. Wang Yi only shot out 2 armor-piercing arrows and killed 2 heavy cavalrymen before the orc cavalry arrived in front of them. "Be careful. We mustn't crumble," Lu Chongyuan shouted. Heng Fang's lance stabbed like lightning into a heavy cavalry orc's helm. Su Jingming held his dual shields and stood at the forefront, borrowing the force of the impact and occasionally erupting with strength. The entire heavy cavalry platoon fell into chaos from his impact. Su Jingming shouted, "The terrifying thing about heavy cavalry is their charge, but we have to be careful of those 5 generals." The 5 generals riding drakes had different weapons. Some held swords, some held sabers, and some had axes. All of them had extraordinary might and were following at the back of the heavy cavalry, about to charge over. Nearly 100 heavy cavalry troops finally charged past the team, and more than 20 heavy cavalry troops died in battle. At this moment, the 5 generals had fanned out around Su Jingming's team just as they were feeling most exhausted. They then charged over on their drakes. Bang! Bang! Su Jingming's dual shields only made the 2 drakes stumble to the side, while the attacks of the other 3 generals landed on Wang Yi and the others. "Captain, we also need training," Wang Yi said in the team chat. "You just need to ensure that the team is in the top 20. Brother Su, watch us," Yang Qingxua said. "This is only the preliminaries," Heng Fang said. Su Jingming also understood that everyone wanted to showcase their strength. "All right," Su Jingming replied. About 10 minutes later, Lu Chongyuan and Heng Fang were still barely standing. Wang Yi and Yang Qingxua had died in battle. "Had fun." Su Jingming looked at his teammates. "We had a great time." Heng Fang and Lu Chongyuan looked at each other and smiled. "There's only one general left." Su Jingming turned to look at the general with the sword, who rode a drake and began his final lonesome charge. "Leave the last one to me." Su Jingming walked forward. The orc general roared, and the drake charged forward ferociously. Su Jingming ducked, and the drake missed. Whoosh! The orc general brandished his broadsword, producing a huge arc that sliced at Su Jingming. Boom! Su Jingming took a step forward and exerted force with the shield in his right hand. The moment the shield collided with the sword, it forcefully suppressed the sword and slammed it into the orc general's chest, causing the orc general wearing heavy armor to fly up and fall off the drake's back involuntarily. Su Jingming charged over and stomped his foot. 8 extremities, stomp. Bang. He stomped on the orc general's helm, causing it to deform and spurt blood. The orc general turned ethereal and disappeared. The orc army was destroyed. Su Jingming looked back at the sorry-looking Lu Chongyuan and Heng Fang. The three of them looked up at their rankings and smiled. Whoosh! The three disappeared and left the wilderness. The might of this shield strike. In China's official live stream, Lu Hai and Lei Yunfang were slightly surprised as they looked at each other. The might of an orc general's broadsword swing was very strong, yet Su Jingming's shield sent the orc general flying. It was a little too powerful. Has Jingming broken through? Lei Yunfang approached Lu Hai and asked softly. I don't know. Lu Hai shook his head. Teachers, what are you talking about? Can you share it with us? Lu Xian asked with a smile when she saw this. Lu Hai smiled and said, we're talking about Su Jingming. When he was fighting the orc army, his shield techniques were very impressive. Old Lei told me that. Su Jingming is very talented in shield techniques. Lei Yunfang blinked. Look at you, don't you even blush when making up lies on the official live stream. Chapter 60. Lu Hai's elderly team. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 60. Lu Hai's elderly team Su Jingming and the others appeared in the stands. Sharpshooters are indeed at a disadvantage in the face of a large scale charge and melee combat from heavy armored warriors. Wang Yi was still reminiscing about the battle. It's no wonder Zhou Yi hasn't cleared the Cosmos Tower's third floor. The Cosmos Tower Tiger's encirclement is much more terrifying than the orc army, Su Jingming said. Although we fooled around towards the end, our ranking is still quite good, Yang Qingshua said with a smile. Su Jingming, Heng Fang, Lu Chongyuan, Yang Qingshua, and Wang Yi looked at the rankings displayed in the live stream. First, Team Zhou Yi, Captain. Zhou Yi, number of enemies killed. 1000. Second. Team Fairy Dance, Captain. Zhang Qing, number of enemies killed. 1000. Third, Team Cloud Mountain, Captain. Hua Qingshan, number of enemies killed. 1004th, Team Golden Rock, Captain. Tai Lianyun, number of enemies killed. 105th, Team Urim, Captain. Fang Yu, number of enemies killed. 1006th, Team Shield Axe, Captain Xiong Tianshan, number of enemies killed. 1007th, Team Heavenly Note, Captain. Zhuang Ziyu, number of enemies killed. 1008th, Team 3 Mice, Captain. Feng Baiyu, number of enemies killed. 1009th, Team Pearwood, Captain. Su Jingming, number of enemies killed. 1011th, Team Pure Sword, Captain. Qin Gu, number of enemies killed. 1012th, Team Frost Song, Captain. Gu Chong, number of enemies killed. 1025th, Team White Dragon, Captain. Zheng Bailong, number of enemies killed. 821st, Team Happy, Captain. Pang Yun, number of enemies killed. 22, it's not bad to be ranked 9th, Lu Chongyuan said. During the last wave, we didn't cooperate much. We were mostly honing ourselves. Su Jingming and the others met up with their relatives and friends. As a substitute member, I'm very happy to enter the main competition. Li Miao took the initiative to welcome them and smiled happily. You've worked hard, all 5 of you. We have already achieved our goal for the preliminaries. We will be preparing for the main competition next. Heng Fang nodded and said, in the first round of the main competition, Master Lu Hai and Senior Lei Yunfang's teams are Team 1 and Team 2. The top 30 selected for the preliminaries are Teams 3 to 32. The competition rule is: the first will fight the last, Team 1 versus Team 32, Team 2 versus Team 31, Team 3 versus Team 30. Everyone will proceed in sequence until Team 16 versus Team 17. To have the first ones fight the last ones is to ensure that strong teams can enter the next round. Su Jingming nodded and said, otherwise, if Master Lu Hai and Senior Lei Yunfang were to fight right from the beginning, the attractiveness of the entire mid and late stages of the competition would decrease. At the very least, they have to let more teams fight Lu Hai and Lei Yunfang's teams, Wang Yi said. Mom. Su Jingming walked close to where his mother was. Where's Dad? Your father is being all mysterious, I don't know where he is either. Mrs. Su shook her head and smiled. Son, your match was really beautiful. I watched carefully from the beginning to the end. You used your shield really well, the orc army failed to injure you. Even your master, Lu Hai, and Senior Lei Yunfang praised you for your shield talent while on stage. Su Jingming was surprised. Praised my shield talent. His spearmanship talent was higher, having reached LV3. He still needed to practice his shield. Grandson. Grandpa Su ran over and gave him a thumbs up. Nice job. Grandpa Su approached and whispered, Grandson, if I'm not wrong, did you make a breakthrough? Su Jingming looked at his grandfather in surprise. Your shield blocked the attacks beautifully. No matter how the orc army attacked, it didn't threaten you. I've seen several teams ranked ahead of you, but your shield feels like it can be ranked first, Grandpa Su said. Trust my judgment, I can tell the slightest difference. Grandpa Su was extremely confident. Su Jingming sighed inwardly. Grandpa is really impressive. I don't have any advantage in shield techniques compared to others, but after I reached the B-Fire realm, my body's reaction speed became much faster despite deliberately holding back my strength and speed. The strikes that others found dangerous and terrifying appeared like slow motion to him. He was also honing his shield techniques and working hard to use all kinds of techniques, so he naturally appeared much more staid than the others. The competition is over, Mrs. Su said. Su Jingming looked up. Yes, the competition was over. A total of 58 teams passed, and only one member remained for the last few teams. The other teams were wiped out by the orc army. The competition is already over. Why isn't your father here yet? As Mrs. Su grumbled, Su Jingming's eyes lit up. He saw Su Hong appear in the stands in the distance while walking over to his family and friends with a smile. Dad. Su Jingming stepped forward. Not bad. Su Hong nodded in approval. Didn't you say that you formed a middle-aged and elderly team with Old Dai and the others? Mrs. Su asked. Why didn't I see your match despite scanning through the 821 teams? When I asked you about the team's name previously, you refrained from giving me an answer and said that I would know after the competition. However, I didn't see you compete today. There. Su Hong looked up at the podium. On the commentary platform in the live stream, Lu Xian said, the preliminaries have come to an end. Congratulations to these 58 teams for killing the orc army. Although teams ranked lower than 30 are unable to participate in the main competition, being able to kill an entire orc army with 5 people proves your strength. Oh. The first 30 teams have been confirmed. The first round of the Firestarter Cup's main competition has been confirmed. Please take a look at this battle schedule. The first round of the Firestarter Cup's main competition will begin at midnight on September 2nd. Our official live stream will continue broadcasting until 8 a.m. September 2nd, 0.00. First match. Lu Hai's elderly team vs Team Changnan. List of Lu Hai's elderly team members. Lu Hai, Tian Yixiu, Su Hong, Dai Tongda, Zhou Fan, substitute member. Qiu Yong. List of Team Changnan members. Lu Bo, Lei Chong, September 2nd, 0.30. Second match, the detailed battle schedule allowed for a match every 30 minutes. The 16 matches lasted 8 hours. Lu Hai's elderly team. Su Jingming, Li Miaomiao, Mrs. Su, Grandpa Su, Wang Yi, Yang Qingshua, Heng Fang, Lu Chongyuan, and the other relatives and friends around looked at the name list. Captain said that, Su Hong wore a helpless expression and sighed. In order to avoid causing unnecessary discussion, he got us to keep it a secret before the official announcement. We had to keep a low profile. Dad, how did you form a team with Master? Su Jingming couldn't help but ask. After sending you to the national team, I naturally kept in touch with your master and got to know him better, Su Hong said. Didn't your master come to Minghua City before? Old Dai and I had also entertained him for a few days. He requested me and Old Dai to team up with him, so we naturally joined him. Lu Xian looked at the name list and couldn't help saying, Teacher Lu Hai, why did you create an elderly team for your team? Our team isn't young, Lu Hai said with a smile. The youngest is Tian Itsu, who's 55 this year. Oh right, I'll introduce them in detail. Brother Zhou Fan is a little older than me, he's Zhou Yi's father, and he's 88 this year. Su Hong is Su Jingming's father, Dai Tongda is Dai Xiaoqing's father, and Tian Itsu is Tian Zhao's father. The substitute, Qiu Yong, is my in-law. Lu Hai smiled brilliantly as he introduced his team members. The corners of Lei Yunfang's eyes twitched slightly. The team members I chose can't compare to Lu Hai's. Zhou Yi's father, Su Jingming's father, Dai Xiaoqing's father, and Tian Zhao's father. Lu Xian was surprised. Zhou Yi, Su Jingming, Dai Xiaoqing, and Tian Xiao have all entered the main competition. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree, Lu Hai said with a smile. I'll also say this to all the teams that have entered the main competition. If you want to fight me, you have to defeat these old guys first. These few guys of mine aren't easy to deal with.